At this point, like, Eric July can just post, like, I've got the cure for cancer. And Ethan Van Sciver and his ComicsGate group will be like, oh, terrible. How dare he do this? This is just an outrage. I mean, it's really ridiculous. This is a Memorial Day post on Ripasend with Yellow Flash's cover on it with an American flag saying, all of us at Ripasend, we wish you a happy Memorial Day in remembrance of those who have served and fallen. Now, I've saw dozens of posts like this across the internet of just a lot of different deals. Ripa does a pretty good job of, like, their graphics department making these kind of like meme-based things for pretty much everything. Rather than just posting the top part, they actually just have the image also, which makes it something nicer to look at, and that's kind of why they do so well on social media. Now, here's Ethan Van Sciver, who goes, very, very tacky in response. Of course, he didn't do that to the dozens of other comic creators across the internet who did this. It only applies to Ripa. And that's exactly what ComicsGate's been become. Unfortunately, like back in the day, when we were trying to fight the mainstream industry, we were trying to fight the social justice wokeness that was going on in comic books across Marvel, DC, Image Comics. The entire industry is just this one blue-haired, they, them, disabled black lesbian. And it's a ridiculous thing at this point. They've ruined every single property out there. And we were pushing back against that. And, of course, the whole ComicsGate hashtag became popular because of your boy Zach. And your boy Zach was being threatened by, of course, professionals at comic conventions. And it was a scandal because Gate denotes scandal. Ethan Van Sciver co-opted this for his own kind of personal army. And it's really, really funny because now he's blocking his former personal army, who is called War Campaign, because they're criticizing him now. They kind of woke up finally after all these years and are going at him because he's made his entire business just attacking other comic book creators, and he can't handle any sort of criticism, which we've known for quite a while now. So let's get into this news and go over the history of all this because it's pretty wild. In just a moment, please hit the like and subscribe button. This was the most interesting 7 years in comics for a while, and I've just been slowly building a catalog of comic books and books as I've been working very, very hard for you guys. We have 13 graphic novels. We've got 9 in development right now in various stages, done very, very successful over the years. I realized I should total up my crowdfunding of where we're at. I know we've made over $200,000 in crowdfunding. It might be over $300,000 at this point. Doing very, very well in a very, very tough market, which is great. And I'd love for you to check things out. So I've got my books always available. If you notice the way that Ethan Van Sciver likes to do things, and these guys, they make these 24-hour variant covers. They're only available for 24 hours, which is just false sort of scarcity tactics, the FOMO trying to get there for this quote collectible, which is ridiculous because only 500 people care about his collectible, right? And so this is what the mainstream comic industry's done too, right? It's the same thing because they are guys from the mainstream comic industry. I want people to read the stories. That's what I'm about here, and so that's why I make them always available for you. It's also available on digital, something that they forewent. The reason they did so back in the day, I was informed that your boy Zach and Ethan Van Sciver got together and they realized, we can't sell digital for as much, so we can't rack up those totals like that, and that's why they never did digital comics. I want to make sure people read, and if you're overseas, I know it costs $30, $40 to ship. This is a great way to get in on it. I suggest starting with Overmind. It's probably my universe that I'm really working in right now, and that's what people enjoy the most. That property sold well over $100,000 worth of comics itself, and I appreciate you guys for reading. And let's get into this news here. And please also sign up for my newsletter just because I've got a bunch of comic graphic novel crowdfunds coming very, very shortly. It's in the description below. This is the movement. This is the spot. This is where we've been at that you were asking for all along. These guys did everything they could to try to denigrate me, shut me out. And what's ironic is Ethan used to use this War Campaign group to try to go at me and actually try to do this. And his tactics, I'll tell you exactly what the tactics were. It's all a fake sort of influencer network, and that's what ComicsGate is. So let's get into this and drill into this. It's really crazy how this all develops and what they do. Just a moment. Sign up for the newsletter. Join my Discord. We have a great comic book community and a book reader community. If you're going to cause problems, don't join, but we like to actually build the culture and change things because, this is positive. And what's wrong with this? Nothing. You're really stretching at this point, and this is where it goes. And it comes from this sort of thin skin setup. So Ethan Van Sciver saw a bunch of just the way the internet worked with just anonymous armies that like can, really topple things and drive people crazy. And so he got this group called War Campaign, and they LARPed as like Roman centurions and stuff like that, and basically followed him. They called him Caesar, and he set this up and made them feel special, made them feel like they were doing something meaningful for helping him fight his personal battles as his personal army online. And so what he'd do is he'd set them on creators like myself. And, I don't remember how many there were back in the day, but a lot of these guys have a lot of sock puppet accounts and the like. So there were probably 50, 100 of them, but they made it look like there were like 500, 1,000 of them. And so anywhere you'd show up, they'd flood your chats with sock puppet accounts and flood any mentions. And they'd make it look like this whole massive group just hates you because you're a terrible person. And they'd spread lies on his behalf. They'd say I'd dox my customers and things like that, when, of course, that's exactly what he's doing, and that what he's threatened to do multiple times. And it's like, what's going on here? And it would just never end. And so that's how they like maintain control over ComicsGate and maintain control over the narrative. Well, these guys eventually got disillusioned because he mistreated them, just like he mistreats everybody else. It's a cycle. Eventually, he's going to turn on the people he's friends with today. We've seen it over and over and over again in ComicsGate. And so now they're actually calling him out for all this stuff that they actually, woke up to the fact that he was inciting them to do for a while. And it's, I'm glad you guys woke up. I'm glad you guys figured it out, because it's been a lot of time over this, and it's really ridiculous just how far you guys fought for this guy for nothing. He treated you like pay pigs. He really did. And now they are, of course, getting just mass blocked and virtue signaled against, even though he developed them as the personal army. Now, he's got a different, like, troll army he doesn't have, like, named at this point, who's working basically, like, in tandem with Dick Masterson and that sort of blood sports internet crew to try to get the same thing, but it's not nearly what it used to be. What's really funny is Ethan used to quote tweet to get his people to pile on you, and you'd lose followers and they'd flip out and all that. And now his power is so little that, like, he'd quote tweet me and I'd gain followers, and what ended up happening because of that, because he wanted to attack me and it wasn't working, and I'd just laugh at it, is he blocked me, and he actually had a coordinated attempt. I found this the other day with John Malin, who actually instructed people to block me in order to, like, try to, I guess, gotcha me somehow. It really didn't do anything because these guys don't have any power. Now, I'm approaching, actually, if you've not followed me on X2, I'm approaching 15,000 followers. Would love for you to hop on there. All my links are in the description below. You can grab that. I like connecting with people, so it's really nice. Newsletter, Discord, and that's what social media should be, is connecting with people. And I don't inspire this, like, because I don't do this, like, sort of LARPing thing. And what this is like, he acts like, oh, I'm the Lord of comic books, and you guys, I'm Caesar, and you guys follow me. And so he duped a lot of people with that sort of, like, projected overconfidence. I don't do that. I don't believe that, like, just because you write comic books, you're somehow, like, on a pedestal above anybody else. And so I don't garner a following as fast, but it's fine. And that's just how it is, because I just try to be a real person, and that's not what people see on the internet and go and form personal armies over. But I don't want that, because I want, again, real readers, intelligent people to interact with and make things brighter. You want a good community, right? And so this is what's happening now. And this is one of the War Campaign people calling Ethan a name here. And he says, I've blocked all of Was Campaign. If you're engaging with them when they've tagged me, even if it's to stand up for ComicsGate, you are dragging their messages onto my X for them. You'll join them in being blocked for me. So he's at the point where any criticism at this point, even if you're defending him, he's going to block you as his fan, because he doesn't want to see this kind of thing. Now, this is really ironic, again, because he cultivated this group a long time. He DM'd them. He actually would encourage them to, like, go after people's families and stuff like that. I mean, it's really, really sick. The stuff that was uncovered with all this stuff that he was doing against me and others back in the day. And, I mean, these guys followed. Look, this is a Christian channel, so it's like, I forgive you guys if you're out there for that. I know you haven't really engaged in that kind of thing in a few years now. And I get it. You were duped. You really thought this guy was, like, the savior of comics and all that because of the way he presented himself. And obviously he really doesn't even produce comics. And so, people get, manipulated on the internet. It happens. And sadly, this is just one of those instances where that happened again over the years. Lots of stories on this front. It's very crazy stuff. And so it is, if this isn't your intention, you should block them too or ignore them. So it's encouraging more people to block more people. And you could see this is just about inability to face any criticism on the comics not being produced, really. And that's what's going on, as he's made his entire business model just harassing Eric July and anybody associating with Eric July. So it's just like, I get it. You want to have a peaceful thing and just do that. But if you make your entire business model just going after a guy because he posts a Memorial Day message, I mean, like, come on. Like, of course you're going to get pushback. Like, don't be thin-skinned about it if you're going to be Mr. Bloodsports, trying to be Mr. Medicare, only not, which is what he's attempted to do very, very poorly. So this whole group's really failing and fracturing apart at rapid rates because people are just rolling their eyes at this juncture, and it's just not working anymore. And it's really, really interesting to watch this fall apart. Look at this from the historical perspective, having been there since day one. And we got to rebuild this comics movement because we're trying to fight this kind of behavior where it's about who you are, not what you're doing. And that's what the SJWs do. It's the same tactics. It's the same thing as Marvel and DC Comics, just trying to destroy anybody on that level. And, we got to make indie comics great again by really producing and really outworking the competition. That's what we're doing here, my friends. So please join us. Grab some books in the store. Check things out. Like I said, we've got a little something for everybody. We've got sci-fi, fantasy, and, of course, superhero books as well. I've got my newsletter. You can sign up, get some free books as well, because we have so much in the pipeline right now. I don't want to lose you to an algorithm. Very important to get on here. Join our community. Follow on X. Get on Discord. Let's build this, guys, because we are at the precipice of something new, and we can rebuild this whole comics movement again to mean something. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.